Welcome back. Today, we'd like to cover shooting positions and how to manage recoil. The classic 4 military shooting positions function as a perfect foundation for all field adaptations. We're addressing hunting and long-range applications today. Basic marksmanship. Carbine skills are an entirely separate discipline. The standing position, also referred to as offhand, is the least stable, and stability increases the closer you get to the ground. It is by far the most challenging position to shoot from. It takes constant training and a significant level of prowess to do it well. Most of us are happy at short distance success with offhand and quickly seek out better supported positions. Shooting offhand. Remember to use your sling. The hasty sling is extremely effective, and it will help you stabilize the rifle. To build this position, pull your rifle towards your forward shoulder such that it crosses your body, and your sights naturally align to your eyes. Don't drop your head onto your stock. Keep your head up and level. Place the rifle between you and the target. Fit the rifle to you, not the other way around. This hasty sling is easy. Begin by ensuring your sling is adjusted properly for length. I adjust the sling's length for hasty use, and stick with that during normal on-the-shoulder tromping around. Give the sling a half twist counterclockwise if shooting from the right shoulder, or clockwise from the left. That half twist makes the sling match the curve of your hand when it's in the final position. Hold the sling with your trigger hand fingers, maintaining that twist, and reach through the loop as far as you can, positioning the sling against the back of your arm as high above your tricep as is possible. Now wrap your arm under the sling and reach your wrist back through the sling so that it lays against the back of your hand, and that half wrap is flat to the back of your hand. When you pull the rifle back against your shoulder, flare your sling arm a little, and notice it pulls tight if you've got it adjusted for the right length, stabilizing the rifle to your shoulder. When properly fitted, you can nearly hold that sling to your shoulder with one hand and the sling all by itself. This position allows you to ride the recoil, so to speak. It's faster to get on target, but it's the least stable of the classic 4 positions. It also takes a considerable amount of practice to gain proficiency, and with that practice, you should be able to hit 100% of your shots offhand on an 8-inch circle out to about 200 yards. I know some who can double that distance offhand, but personally, I will always try for a more stable shooting position, like taking a knee. The kneeling position is a natural one. I've taken the bulk of my game shooting from the kneeling position. It's fast, and it's much more stable than shooting offhand.
There it is.
Use your sling here, too. It's not just for carrying your iron. Adjust it to your shoulder before you go marching around, so it's ready on short notice. Basic address of the rifle is nearly the same as offhand. Head up, rifle brought across your body. Adjust the rifle to you, not the other way around. It's a bit different in the angle you pull across your body, and you'll be bending at the waist to stack your body parts for effective positioning, but your torso and rifle are nearly the same setup. Drop back into the kneeling position with your rifle side leg behind and below your hips. Pull your other foot back to the point where your shin is vertical. Bring your forward knee as high as you are comfortable with. Then, put the top and front of your knee into the back of your elbow. Don't stack your elbow on top of your knee. That's too wobbly. Try it, and you'll see. There are some variations here. Knee behind the elbow, elbow on the quad, but in essence, find the most stable stack of body parts your pain level will allow. If you have the chance, and the terrain allows, trade kneeling for sitting. Next up, the sitting position. It's not my favorite, but you should know it nonetheless. Whether cross-legged or crossed ankles, sitting has a tendency to compress your core muscles, and I've never been too comfortable in this shooting position unless I was shooting from a significant slope. In this position, try lifting your knees so they're level with your chest and rest your elbows on your thighs, above your knees, never on the patella or any other bones directly. If you're comfortable in the cross leg, rest your elbows on the inside of your thighs. Again, not on the bones of your leg or your knees. If you're like me and not favorable to the cross-legged sit, extend your legs slightly and cross your ankles. resting your elbows just inside of the thighs and above your knees. If you can, put your knee behind your elbow so your patella presses into the meat of your tricep for an even more stable stack. It's not as stable as cross-legged or leaning back, but it's better than standing. Oh, and remember to use your sling. And finally, the position everyone wants to know about these days. The prone. Whether you're supported by your pack, on a bipod, or unsupported and aided by, you guessed it, your sling, the most stable position is going to be the prone. It has some problems, particularly for the hunter, but it is by far the most stable. Problems include can't see diddly squat through the grass or the brush. It's difficult to fluidly adjust to the movement of your target animal. And often, you'll make a huge ruckus getting squared away in the prone. Those leaves and twigs that you're laying down on top of will do their best to announce your presence to everything within 500 yards. But no matter how you cut it, you can't beat the prone for accuracy and confidence when shooting long. To build your best prone position, start by setting your rifle to the side and laying chest down, hands folded beneath your head. From that natural napping position, bring the buttstock against your head and pull it back against your shoulder. You want your shoulders square to the buttstock, perpendicular. Remove as much angle as possible, and every fraction counts. Position your rear bag and support under the stock and lift your head so that it naturally rests your cheekbone lightly atop your stock. Emphasis, lightly. In this position, you should be able to rest, breathe naturally, and without straining. Close your eyes and think about seeing the target. And when you open your eyes, if your platform is adjusted properly, you should be well aligned with your scope or your sights. If your alignment is off, you'll need to adjust your rifle setup until you can successfully open your eyes and see the sights or the scope properly without adjusting your head position. This routine will teach you what your natural aim looks like. And if you do it right, you'll know what success feels like every time you address the rifle in the prone. So push pause right here, go get yourself properly adjusted, and come back when you're ready. Now that your head is properly aligned with your sights, let's move on to controlling recoil. Everyone is built differently, so everyone will have a personalized experience with this part. Some experimentation will show you what you need to correct. Most people find that positioning the buttstock against the clavicle, just about as close as you can get up against the neck, is the best place to start. It's uncomfortable at first, but you'll get used to it in time. Recoil is better absorbed when it's centered on your body, or as close as is possible. And realize that the further out on your shoulder you position the buttstock, the more of a lever you're giving the recoil, which makes the rifle more able to push you around. Don't let your rifle push you around. Position your body with your legs splayed apart, toes pointing away from center. Get as much of your body in contact with the ground as is possible. The more contact, the better. Spreading your feet out forms a pyramid that disperses the recoil over a larger surface area, reducing both its effect on the rifle and the perceived severity of the recoil on your body. Let's pause this for just a moment and talk about her position to the rifle. You'll notice that her shoulders and her belt form a rectangle perpendicular to the direction the rifle is pointing in. This is ideal. This means that her torso forms a rectangle that absorbs the recoil and passes that recoil into the tripod of her legs, which dissipates it into the ground. You'll notice when she fires in this position, the rifle jumps a little bit, purely vertical. It doesn't wave the muzzle around in a circle, there's no left and right. It's all no drama, one shot, back to target. Now that you're nice and squared up, squeeze off a shot. Did the rifle jump and move the muzzle to the left or the right? If the muzzle moved to the right, move yourself slightly, either left or right depending on which side you're shouldering the rifle, pivoting about the point where you contact the buttstock. Small adjustments here. Tiny. Move your hips, not your contact with the rifle. Always maintain your position against the rifle exactly as you did when you found your resting position, your natural point of aim. Try to build a rectangle with your torso and a pyramid with your legs, because that forms the best structure to absorb and control the recoil. Reposition slightly, methodically, and shoot again, watching the recoil and how it changed what happened to your sights. You're looking for a straight-up jump without left or right movement. Or better yet, no jump at all. But I have to admit that when shooting larger calibers, some jump is nearly inevitable.
Nice.
Clock your best position against the rifle and write it down. Have your buddy take a cell phone shot for posterity.
One more for posterity.
Consistency is the key here. Always address the rifle the same way. That way, which allows you to absorb and dissipate recoil such that you can stay on target. Or if your muzzle does jump, it falls back onto target without the need for you to rebuild your position. Burn that position into your subconscious memory. Now, many people will tell you to draw an imaginary line through the rifle, down your shoulder, into your hip, and exiting through your heel. One straight line along the entire side of your body. And that's a pretty good idea, but I have seen plenty of cases where it wasn't the final best for many people. Let the rifle tell you what needs to be corrected, or get a professional coach to help you get there. When you feel it, when you see the bullet's trace and the impact, you'll know you're doing it right. It's unmistakable. So let's put all that into a video. People seem to like videos. Here in the prone, you can watch in dramatic slow motion how the rifle moves straight back and does not rotate, nor does it jump left or right. This is nirvana, the one goal, your path to the light. And here, my lovely assistant is applying pressure with the palm of her hand to the side of the grip. A common screw-up when trying to tweak the crosshair placement just a fraction. But look what happens under recoil. Do you see how the rifle twists and torques the muzzle away from straight? That'll throw the muzzle up and to the side, resulting in a miss. Not ideal. And here, she's applying a bit of pressure the other way by pressing her cheek against the side of the stock. Yep, you guessed it, didn't you? It rotates the other way, muzzle arcing up and missing off the other side of the target. Even a small input mistake here can mean the difference between a good hit and a complete miss. Or much worse, it could mean a wounded and suffering animal. You want the first example, straight back with maybe a bit of vertical. And remember your follow-through. Don't just prairie dog after the shot. Stay in that scope and watch your impact. Remember your trigger follow-through, too. Pull to the back of the wall and hold it there momentarily while you watch your shot drive into the target. Then work the bolt with purpose, preparing for a follow-up shot if needed. And as a bonus, now that you're comfortable behind the rifle and burning that position into your memory, take a moment to look at your gear. Where's your pack? What's in the pockets closest to you? Rangefinder? Snacks? More ammo? A bottle of water to sip on? Think ahead while you have the time, preparing for the unexpected. Put the most needed items close to you in your prone position so you can access them with a minimum of motion while you patiently wait for Bambi to make his entrance. Because sometimes it takes quite a while. It's easier to be patient when you have your gear right where you need it. So to recap, why stand when you can kneel? Why kneel when you can sit? Why sit when you can lay down? When you're out there doing out there stuff, you can adapt these 4 classic positions to make good use of your environment. Controlling recoil begins with good foundational shooting positions. Practice these 4 classic positions and let your rifle tell you what needs to change. Now, stop watching videos and go shoot.
Keep an eye on him.
As always,
Until he gets
thanks for
his little
watching.
ticket back there.
Yep. Can I go ahead and start shooting?
I think we're pretty clear at this point. I have
Nice.